Bradley Aiden Johnson here with an email reply. I'm going to get right into it. Hi, Bradley. Wanted to know what you think I should add more of. I'm doing Ice Cream Fitness's Novice 5x5 training. It's a full body routine 3 days a week, and I'm cutting. My macros are 245 grams of protein, 147 grams of carbs, 44 grams of fat, so 960 calories. I wanted to know if I should increase my volume if I'm not losing weight on these macros in 2 weeks. Should I add more days of the routine, like 4 or 5 days a week? So my cardio is 3 days a week, 40 minutes on the treadmill, walking. Should I up it to 5 to 6 days a week? With 60 minutes. I weigh 195 pounds, I'm 5'10", 12 to 40% body fat. Thanks for the help. First of all, Ice Cream Fitness is another YouTube channel, much more successful channel than mine. But they has a Novice 5x5 program for people that are starting out. I'm going to get into that in a sec, but for now I'm just going to put the link here. So if anyone wants to know what this video is about, the link is there. If it's not there, tell me. Okay. Getting into it, the main problem I have with this email is you're saying you've got your macro set up, you've obviously used some sort of calculation. It looks like it could have been my calculating way of working out your macros. Now you want to know whether you should increase this or increase that workout, or increase this workout. No, they're all wrong. If your macros, if you train for 2 weeks at this way and the workout's working for you and it's intense and it's hard and you're tired and you're getting results from it, and then you're not losing weight in the way that you want to be, don't try and increase your training, because that has other effects on your body. Don't try and increase your training to make up the deficit. You need to reduce your calories to match your training. Don't try and constantly try and chase this magical number of output calories. You get to a point where your training is working for you, you're training to the right level for anabolism, for muscle growth, and you've got a bit of cardio in there to keep your fitness up and to prevent injury that you're comfortable with, that you can do and maintain. And then from that point, once you've got that, you change your calories to fit your desired target. So if in 2 weeks you haven't lost any weight, drop 600 calories. If you haven't, let's say 2 weeks. Let's call it 3 weeks, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 measurements of weight. If in 2 weeks you haven't lost any weight at all, then you're currently training at maintenance, which means you need to drop about 600 calories to lose the right amount of fat. It's unlikely that you'll go 2 weeks and not lose fat from this. It seems like that. From what your height and weight is, I'd be very surprised if doing this routine you were anything like maintenance. It seems like you'll just lose weight. That's probably happened. But this was for the future. He's asking in advance. I like the question because there's a lot of detail in there. There's nothing. I totally get what you're doing. I've seen the workout you're doing. I know how often you're doing the workout. I know what your cardio doing. I know what cardio you're thinking of doing. What weight you're thinking of doing. Your exact body fat, your height, and your weight. Perfect email. Now on the topic of the Ice Cream Fitness is now I don't know that his routine is 5x5 routine. First of all, if you're subscribed to me and you like this whole fitness thing, you should probably subscribe to him. He knows a lot more about building muscle than I do. He is somebody that has gone through the wars of bodybuilding. He's been ill and lost all his muscle, all his strength, and then come back fiercer than before and got it all back again. He knows all about building muscle. But people that come to my channel, I get the feeling they're looking for more aesthetics. He is more for size, I think, and strength, and a general overall holistic more bodybuilding approach. I think people that come here are generally more concerned with burning fat and getting that whole six-pack abs thing. I think my subscribers are more leaning towards that. So I'm going to answer that in that vein. If you're using the Novice thing, I assume you're a novice, I guess. His video says for people with 0 to a year's worth of training are novices, which puts me under the novice category. I've only been training lifting heavy for less than a year, so I am still a novice in that regard. From what I saw, the whole 5x5 programs, because 5x5 programs, they're rife, they're all over the internet. This is his 5x5 program. There are many 5x5 programs, they're everywhere. And the thing with 5x5 programs is, for people that didn't watch the whole video and see that when he says novice, he means 0 to a year. I think people that are just starting out, that never have trained, I don't know if you haven't trained before, but I think if you haven't been training for like 6, 7, 8, 9 months, I think a 5x5 program is a little bit heavy. I think it's easy to get injured lifting in such a low rep range for someone that's never lifted before. Like if someone would say to me, "Oh, I'm not training, I'm really fat, I want to start now. Would you recommend a 5x5 program?" I'd be like, No, I wouldn't recommend a 5x5 program. That's too heavy. You're not going to know what to do. Your form's going to be terrible. Even if you're trying to keep strict form, your core's not going to be strong enough to support it. I just don't think you should go for a 5x5 program. Now, it doesn't say how much of a novice you are. In fact, it doesn't even say you're a novice at all. I kind of assume it because you're doing a novice routine. It's possible that you've been lifting for like 6, 7, 8 months and now you're moving to a 5x5 routine, in which case I'm totally for it. It's cool. But for those people just starting out, even though it does say novice, he does say in the video, and he addresses it himself, if you're starting out right at the start, maybe it might not entirely be for you. I don't think people should be lifting in such a low rep range when they're just starting out. Some people would wildly disagree with me, but it's quite heavy and you're going to be weak at the start. I prefer, my rep range that I like is the more traditional for hypertrophy. I always call it hypertrophy, whatever you want to call it. Muscle building growth, basically. The whole 6 to 12, so 8 to 12, whatever you want to call it, rep range, I do 10. Typically, most of my lifts, I do a rep range of 10. And I like that. It's easier to control. It's more manageable, especially for people at the start. It has great results. It's worked for me. I'm not huge, but like obviously I've had some muscle growth. I like the rep range of 10 myself personally, and I like a blend of compound movements with isolation movements towards the end of the workout. The 5x5 program has some isolation movements and does cover every muscle, but is more focused on those compound movements. And I think for the people that are just starting out, they would find my workouts probably slightly easier to get to grips with and less likely to hurt themselves with ego. That's my view on that. Other than that, I think his program's fantastic. I'm not one for full body. It's a full body routine. I'm not one for full body routines. That's another thing as well. When you start out, there's no way on earth you're going to be fit enough to do his routine properly. You're just not going to be fit enough. Or well, you could do it, but it will take you so long. You got to do a full squat in the rep range of 5. In a gym with a barbell, get up and then go on to the next weight. If you're doing them properly to the point where you should be exhausting yourself and you haven't worked out before, no way you'd be able to handle it. Your cardiovascular fitness, your conditioning you wouldn't be even close to handling it. Which is why I suggest to people this video here is a great way to start. It's a great way just to start. Like if you want to start right now, this moment you've got some dumbbells in your house that you haven't used and you can blow the dust off them and just get started. It's a great way to start. Do that exercise. After that, move on to a split. He on his, I saw it in a post that he made. He suggests that doing a push-pull legs or more split routine is better for people that have much more experience lifting, as in much more experience than I do. I don't agree entirely. I've seen great gains. I felt great doing the body split that I have on a 4-day split, which is essentially a hybrid of a push-pull legs routine. I would say that they can work for you, but I would say whatever you do, start off in a way that introduces you to weightlifting. Don't go in to lifting big heavy weights and trying to see how much you can bench. That is a fantastic way to injure yourself and build 40 recruitment patterns and just ruin your weight training for you before you even start, in my opinion. Other than that, check out his video, have a look, draw your own conclusions. He knows much more. He's forgotten more about bodybuilding than I've learned so far. So, these are just my views, and I think his program's great. I think if you're doing nothing at the moment and the alternative is nothing or his thing, his thing is fantastic. You will get fantastic results off it. I personally would go for a slightly higher rep range. He would disagree probably. Maybe he wouldn't. Who knows? Check out his video, see what he has to say. He knows more than I do anyway. Hopefully it's been some help. bradleydenjohnson@gmail.com. If you have any queries or theories, suggestions or anything, let me know. Other than that, like the video, like the Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and of course subscribe. Peace.